Welcome to the Autofocus Q&A, where we invite leaders, top executives, and personalities from the automotive sector to answer questions about the automobile and its industry from our invited motoring journalists and those sent to us by our viewers. This week from the Motoring Media, we have the motoring editor of the Philippine Star, my boss, Mr. Manny de los Reyes. Manny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Butch.
And he is joined by the editor-in-chief of Top Gear Philippines, Mr. Vernon Sarne. Vernon, welcome in.
Thank you, sir, for having me back.
And as for our esteemed guest this week on the Autofocus Q&A, we have the very lovely lady president of Asian Car Makers Corporation, exclusive distributors and importers of BMW vehicles in the country, Miss Maricar Parco. Welcome, Maricar.
Thank you. Very pleased to be here.
Our privilege. Okay, getting the show on the road for our first question, Maricar, tell us, when word came out that BMW would be introducing to the world, or has introduced to the world, these e-vehicles, everybody in the Philippines seems to be excited about the prospect of having it here. Are we going to have this I-Series in the Philippines?
Well, there are good signs. We hope to have it, to bring it in the country. But what we have in the region, BMW is very proud to be in the forefront of innovation. And we want to be very sure when we bring our products into the market that the markets are ready for it. So initially, the electric vehicles, or the BMW i brand, was only launched in selected markets, even in Europe, just in Paris, and of course in Germany. In the US, just in New York and Los Angeles. In the region, it will only make its debut next week at the BMW World in Singapore, where the i3 and the i8 will be launched in the Singapore market. In the Philippines, we are currently doing a market study, which is a sign that it will arrive.
Is it safe to presume that one of the reasons why it is taking time, or it would take more time for the BMW i vehicles to reach the Philippines, is because number one, we lack the infrastructure, and second, probably we still have to wait for the time when Congress would come up with a law which would support the existence of these vehicles?
Yes, it's all of that and more. And even as distributor and importer, we also need to prepare to make sure that we are able to support our customers. At this point, this is the reason why it's only launched in select markets. This is to make sure that we are able to provide support to these markets and to the customers. We want to make sure that we continue to deliver our promise of the ownership experience of a BMW, and this time a BMW electric vehicle or a hybrid vehicle under the BMW i brand.
Maricar, not many people know this, but Maricar actually, she's now the president of BMW Philippines, but actually she started with Honda back in the early 90s. I've known her since 1995. She was still a member of the marketing department of Honda Cars Philippines. My question is, and then in 1998, I think you moved to Ford.
That's right.
My question now is, how would you differentiate the culture inside a Japanese car company, and then an American car company, and then now a German car company?
Wow. Well, I think all these experiences really helped me develop into what I am. With my first company, it was a Japanese company, Honda. I really learned the discipline, of the corporate world, all the protocols, and I learned my car specifications basically from Honda, and I learned the hard way. I had to do a plant tour because the company then was a brand new brand in the country, at least for the auto side of the business. That was my first job. I was a tour guide in the plant, really, for students and guests of Honda to introduce the brand. So it was really discipline. In Ford, it was more of a global perspective, because Ford Philippines is a subsidiary a wholly owned subsidiary of Ford Motor Company, we were encouraged to think out of the box, to think global and not just local. So that really challenged you and opened up your world to bigger things. So that was pretty good. And of course, being American, things were done pretty straightforward, very fast. It didn't have to go through a lot of layers. So I enjoyed that immensely. I learned a lot from that experience. For us now, it is a German company. It's a franchise, but it's a Filipino company. Of course, headed by our chairman emeritus now. Governor Alvarez is now our chairman emeritus because he is now focused in running the province of Palawan, and he has he's gotten people for his group like myself to run the company for at least for Asian car makers and for the BMW brand. But because we are a partner of BMW, from the German company, it's really the processes, no shortcuts. Really, you stick to what is proven, very systematic, and this is why I guess this is the reason why BMW is very successful in the world. It now is the leading premium brand globally, and it continues to grow. In the U.S., it's very strong. Recently, again, posted the big growth, and locally, we're also very pleased that for the 11th year, we've dominated the premium segment. We continue to work hard so we can bring more Filipinos into our cars as well and experience. It's different driving a BMW.
Let's talk about your product line. Filipinos are big on SUVs, and that's served by your X series.
Yes.
But we still have a lot of traditionalists, which are served by your passenger cars, from the 1 to the 7 series. I'm interested in how the 3 and 5 series GTs are doing. It seems like in some markets, they seem to be sort of a love it or hate it type of car. So how does it do in the Philippines?
Yes, we are still stronger in the traditional sedan, four-door sedans. Again, we understand and we expect that the Gran Turismos and we even have Gran Coupes now will have a smaller volume, yet will cater to a very select few. So, for the 5 series and the 3 series, it's really more about space. It's a Gran Turismo. It's something where you can have a lot of, you have a bigger trunk space for you, and even the leg room inside and all that is bigger. So it varies in different ways, maybe in very subtle ways, but still distinct enough for the customers that the niche customers for those brands.
Okay, we will take a very short break, and when we come back, more of BMW, more of Ms. Maricar Parco with this week's Q&A. Stay with us.